Finally, we got the full trailer for Superman, and what an incredible trailer. I'll never get tired of watching it one more time. I'm so excited to see this movie, I can't wait for it to premiere. Now, without further ado, let's analyze the trailer because there's so much to discuss, like references to the comics and some theories about the film. But before we begin, don't forget to click the like button, comment below, and subscribe for more content like this. Also follow our other social networks, Instagram and Threads. There I'll also bring news about this universe we love so much. The trailer starts with these scenes in the Arctic, and suddenly we see Superman falling straight to the ground. This scene reminded me of that scene from Man of Steel when Superman was learning to fly. James Gunn said he was inspired by many versions of Superman, including Zack Snyder's. I think this scene is a direct reference to Man of Steel. In this scene, we see that Superman is seriously injured. This frame made me really curious because I thought, what villain could have faced Superman to leave him so hurt? In the next scene, we get our first glimpse of Clark Kent as he walks through the Metropolis crowd to get to the Daily Planet. I also liked his hairstyle because it looks much different from Superman. The glasses help hide his identity, but the hairstyle is what makes him look quite different from Superman. So here in this scene, we can see more of the Daily Planet's interior, and we see Steve Lombard and Cat Grant there. I liked how they characterized the offices. It's a bit outdated, but also somewhat modern, just like in the comics with TVs on all over the office. And here we have our first look at Lois Lane in this trailer. We can see her looking at Clark on a phone call, and in front of them is Jimmy Olsen. This scene where David Corenswet shows that innocent and awkward expression clearly reminded me of Christopher Reeve's Clark Kent, and is also a great way for Clark Kent to differentiate himself from Superman. Next up is our first view of the Kent farm. It's quite different from what we're used to seeing in many Superman stories, but I liked it. It's very simple. After that, we have this scene with Clark and his father, Jonathan. I think this will be one of those moments where Clark seeks advice from his dad due to what he's going through as Superman, or comforting his dad, because maybe in this story, Martha Kent dies instead of Jonathan. Although sad, it would mean a very different perspective than what we're used to seeing in Superman stories. Then we go back to that scene of Superman lying on the ground. He whistles, and as he does that, something or someone starts coming like an avalanche, and then we see it's Krypto. This scene is so cute. Honestly speaking, James Gunn did a great job bringing Krypto into this film because many Superman fans like me have dreamed of seeing Krypto with Superman in live action. I know this isn't Krypto's familiar look, but it still captures Krypto's essence and connection between him and Superman. Plus, this Krypto is based on James Gunn's own adopted dog, Ozu, which adds another level of connection and compassion for him. Then Superman tells Krypto to take him home. That home he refers to is probably the Fortress of Solitude, which we'll soon see in this trailer. Next is a scene of Superman flying in slow motion to save a girl from an explosion with epic music playing in the background. It's so good it feels like a dream. We also see that blue and red blur, which I think is something we've never seen before. It's really present in comics as well as animations. Then we get our first glimpse of Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor looking through a window while Superman flies by. I think Nicholas Holt is perfect as Lex Luthor, and I'm already saying he will be the best Lex Luthor ever. Cut to another scene where we also have our first glimpse of LexCorp, which is fascinating. It's very exaggerated, but also just like in the comics. And if we zoom in on the top of the building, we can see the engineer who seems to be opening a hatch. Probably she's working with Lex Luthor to take down Superman. Then we have this other scene of Lex Luthor holding a gun inside somewhere that could likely be at Luthor Corp, which is somewhat hazy with fog. In the next scene, we see Superman inside a glass box, which could probably be in the same building where Lex Luthor is. In the following scene, one of the parts of this trailer surprised me. So we see a boy putting up a Superman flag and shouting his name while people flee from danger. This scene impacted me because it shows how deep down this boy still holds hope that Superman will come and save him and those around him. And I think this film will have a lot of that, with Superman being represented as the symbol of hope. In the next scene, we see Superman with his suit damaged, and we see the crowd around him shouting at him, and even a man throws a can at him. When I saw this scene, I wondered what made the people of Metropolis revolt against Superman. Maybe they think he's like other heroes who are causing problems worldwide. So we see in the next scene that this affects Superman deeply, and we see a crowd of people shouting against him outside, and you can clearly see he's struggling a lot with this. Well, I want to talk a bit about this scene because in this film, we will see Superman dealing with his human heritage and his Kryptonian heritage. I think we will see Superman under great pressure in this movie because he is an old-fashioned hero, meaning a good guy hero. So at this moment, people are used to heroes who do anything up to killing to maintain peace, like the Authority. So I think this film will have a big connection with the Authority movie. Back again to that scene, we see Superman at Stag Industries, which is where Metamorpho was created. Soon we'll see him in this trailer, so I think he's being kept there. Then, in the same scene, we get our first look at Guy Gardner, who honestly looks pretty silly in this outfit but matches the comics. We also see Hawkgirl behind him, who also has that silly mask on. They're both in corporate suits because they are probably working with Maxwell Lord, so we see Guy Gardner using his powers to contain the noise coming from the crowd against Superman, and also to give Superman some privacy. Plus, in that scene back behind Guy Gardner, we see Mr. Terrific, who later will have a scene in the trailer. Cut to another scene, and we see the Hawk Woman flying to attack someone or something, which I think might be this kaiju that is spitting fire at Superman in this scene. Another detail I noticed is that these last scenes are actually in reverse, because the kaiju first shoots fire at Superman, then we see him in that scene with the damaged suit, and maybe something happened during this battle that turned the people of Metropolis against Superman. Also, I really like the design of this kaiju, and James Gunn will really bring fantastical elements we've never seen before. In previous Superman films, then we have this scene with Lois and Superman, and they are literally in front of a sphere shooting beams at the city, and this scene reminds me of the first picture that James Gunn showed of Superman's suit. And here we see that Superman is not in a hurry to save the city. Maybe it's not so dangerous, but by their faces, we can tell it's serious and could be very dangerous. We cut to the scene of Clark kissing Lois, and there's something I noticed. Lois is wearing the same clothes she had on at the Daily Planet, which proves to us that Clark and Lois are already together. Next, we have this scene of Superman holding the hand of this robot, which are those robots that stay in the Fortress of Solitude and act as companions for Superman. So he has great compassion for them. That's why we see him crying for it in this scene, and it's something we see in the comic All-Star Superman, which is the great inspiration for this film. And indeed, we see behind them the Fortress of Solitude, which looks just like the classic visual from the '78 film. We cut to another scene and see these buildings falling. There will probably be big fights in this movie. In the next scene, we see another take of Lex Luthor, who seems to be losing patience with Superman. He looks really furious for some reason. Then we have this TV scene showing that same boy, and if we zoom in, we'll see that the Monitor's logo is from Luthor Corp. This also confirms that Barovia exists in the DCU. Next, we see Superman pushing the kaiju, and we can see its reflection in the window behind him. Then we see Krypto dragging Superman to the Fortress of Solitude. I still wonder what left Superman so injured like that. Actually, the trailer doesn't reveal much about the movie's story, which makes me very happy. This mystery must continue like this throughout all movie promotions. And here we see that man in black from set photos in Cleveland. Then we have this fight sequence between Superman and this man in black. I think there will be many fight sequences in this film. Next here is a better glimpse of Mr. Terrific. We can see those mini spheres he uses a lot in comics, and also the Lois crouching, trying to protect herself from bullets. I think both Lois and Mr. Terrific are trying to find Superman since he was locked in that glass box. Then we have this very beautiful and magical scene of Superman and Lois flying slowly while they kiss each other. This is indeed the iconic Superman. Afterward, we have this scene from the previous teaser of Superman escaping from fire. Finally, to wrap up the trailer, we have this lovely moment of Lois comforting Superman. It seems like it will happen at the end of the movie because there appears to be something really dangerous ahead of them. I'm very excited to see what happens in that scene, but probably there will be some reason explained in the film. So that was our analysis of the first teaser trailer for Superman. I really didn't expect this, but loved the trailer. I thought it looked very good visually. I'm really intrigued to see this film, so don't forget to click the like button, comment below, and subscribe for more content like this. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.